guys, it's your boy Raheem the Dream, and thank you so much for watching another episode of Hood Dreams TV. On today's episode, you already know what it is because you read the thumbnail, my bad. And we are doing a season 14, episode 1 review of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. If you are new to my channel, please do me a favor and make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. Also hit that like button and share this video on your social media with all of your friends and family. We're not going to take too long doing this review. Just going to do it real quick and just get it in and get it out the way. Also, Jumbo, I do say that in all of my videos. So Jumbo, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we start off this season, and I did take some notes, and I also have some in my phone as well. So we started off the first episode with the Fuda family. Rachel and her husband, John, they're having a family meal where they have some of their extended family, like Rachel's sisters, brother, and I can't remember if it was her aunt or her mom and dad, but an older male figure and an older woman figure came, and they all had dinner outside. And we got to see their kids, and you can obviously see from one season to the next season how quickly kids really do grow up, because it's like they grew so freaking much in less than a year. But they're having a good dinner. Everything looks delicious. Rachel talks about how her daughter Jilliana has a tongue tie. And so they're just doing anything and everything that they can do, going to like dentist office and stuff to help get that tongue tie resolved. They also talk about the girls, and I think they talked about was it Teresa or Jennifer Aiden, but there was a joke thrown in there about the nose job. And so that was funny to see that the family was in on the joke. Let me see what else I have. Rachel also talks about how she and Jen Fessler's husband are throwing Jen Fessler a surprise birthday party. And so from there, it jumps to the next scene where Melissa... Shut up, Snoop. Sorry about that. So next scene, we jump to Melissa, where they are upstairs. She and Antonia, her daughter, are upstairs. Antonia's playing with the dog. The dog has a diaper on, and it was so cute. And they just talk about how Antonia is getting ready to go to college. She's actually about to go, in the scene, she's about to go to the University of Delaware. So congratulations to Antonia. I'm pretty sure by now, in real life, she's already there. And then they're in the closet just trying to get Antonia to get some of her clothes and things together. Antonia wants to take everything. Mind you, her wardrobe, just as a kid, she has a huge closet that most women probably would die to have. And she's not even a grown adult yet. She's just a kid with this type of closet. But hey, when you got money, you know, that's what you can have. But she wants to take everything, and Melissa's like, no, you have to downsize it to like 5 pair of jeans, which nobody's about to recycle the same 5 pair of jeans. I would probably say about 20 pairs of jeans. But then again, Delaware is not that far from New Jersey to where Antonia can always just go home and, you know, put some clothes up and bring some new clothes back. But next we jump to a scene with Teresa, and she's doing the same thing with Gabriella. They're talking about her getting ready for college, and she's actually going to the University of Michigan. Then from there, Teresa and the kids, they go downstairs to the kitchen area where she pulls out her wedding album that she had just received in the mail. And they're looking at her wedding pictures, and the pictures came out really, really good. But it does look like they went a little overboard on the photo retouching. Like, they went a fool in Photoshop. They really did. But regardless of Photoshop, Teresa's a beautiful person, and her kids are too. Very gorgeous. They're all beautiful, but they didn't have to do all of that on the photos. But, you know, I guess if you're paying all this money for it, then you don't want to see a blemish. You don't want to see a bump. You don't want to see nothing. So, hey, I guess she got her money's worth. Next, we go to Melissa and Joe. They're talking about the upcoming party for Jen Fessler. And they start talking about how Teresa's going to be there and all the other ladies are going to be there. And they laugh because at the reunion last year, Teresa was like, oh, you're not going to see me no more after this. Like, pretty much insinuating like they are going to kick Melissa off of the show in order to keep Teresa, because Teresa doesn't want to deal with her no more. But Melissa's like, hello, I'm here. I thought I was going to get kicked off. And so they started like doing a little like cackling about that. But that was cute. That was cute because Teresa, you don't have enough power to get Melissa off the show. I'm sorry. Like, you are like the main person of New Jersey, but you and Melissa are kind of like neck and neck. She came on this show and she did what she had to do. Like, she's never going anywhere. If they kick her off, they're going to kick you off too, because y'all both are literally neck and neck on that show. So to think that you even had that much power to be like, I want her off the show and then she's going to be off, it was never going to happen. Let's see. Next, we go to Melissa in a confessional and they're asking her about Teresa. And she goes ahead and she just flat out lays it out, saying that I do not want to talk, or nor do I have anything to say about Teresa on this season. I'm not saying nothing. Don't ask me about her. We're not talking about her. So, I mean, I get it. So, next we jump to Jen Fessler in her home, and she's playing the guitar and she's singing Amazing Grace. And it was actually a funny clip. Well, that scene was actually pretty funny because like her family came in, her husband, and I don't know who the woman was. I'm thinking maybe it was a family member or either a friend, or it could be a daughter. I can't really remember, but they're just busting her chops, talking about they thought they heard a dead cat singing. I mean, like a cat dying, and how bad her singing was. It wasn't that bad, but you know, it's always good when family can bust each other's chops. And then Margaret, she comes over, and when Margaret comes over, she brings Jen a birthday gift, and it is a heart-shaped dildo. And then they get some food and they go sit by the pool and they just catch up really quickly. And Margaret talks about her stepson getting married and how emotional it is because as you guys know, Margaret's stepson's dad, he passed away. And so I guess the son just has Margaret. And I don't know if maybe the biological mom is in the picture, but she just says that it's an emotional moment, being that his dad is no longer with us. And then Jen talks about wanting to sit down to talk to Teresa about Margaret. Margaret, she shuts that shit down ASAP. She like, do not talk to her about me. No, the door is closed. We're not talking about her. She doesn't exist. And so they move on to the next scene, and I actually have that in my notes on my phone. All right, and so from there we jump to a scene with Dolores and Paul, her man, meeting up with Louis and Teresa for dinner. Dolores says that she's no longer able to cook for Paul because you guys know that Paul had that heart surgery last season. So her cooking Italians cook really unhealthily. Her cooking isn't good for him, for his life, so she can no longer cook for him. They also talk about how, Louis brings up to Paul, like, so when are you going to pretty much ask Dolores for, marriage? And he's like, well, I have to get divorced first, because remember, he is technically still married. He never divorced his wife. Even though it's been over 10 years, they're still married. And 1 second, guys. And so Dolores also agrees. She was like, she wouldn't be comfortable with him asking until their divorce is final. Which, not only do you need to be comfortable with it, but it's what's legal. You can't be married to two people. So he has to divorce his wife before he can marry you. So, that's that. Let's see. Also, Louis and Teresa, they start talking about the John Fuda and Louis situation, and how Louis reached out to John Fuda wanting to basically just like squash the beef and move forward. And John Fuda told him, like, we'll talk about it at Jen Fessler's birthday party. Which, John, why would you do that? Why are you trying to ruin that woman's party? Like, whether you think it's going to go well or not, why choose Jen's birthday party to talk about it at that point? Like, that's so disrespectful, and you have no respect for her. I know that's where the cameras are going to be rolling, but you could have easily set that up with production to come and film the two of you guys at any other place besides Jen's birthday party to squash it. We also see Teresa and Louis talking about how the private investigator brought up some information to them about John being like this big, huge drug dealer, and how he likes to play with dildos, double-sided dildos. And so I do not like this private investigator. I do not like him at all. I don't find him credible at all. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm hoping that it's not true. And if it is true, I'm still not going to believe it, because I just don't like that private investigator. He's messy. And Louis is also very messy. I don't like Louis. I do not like him. Like, he's very two-faced. Especially, I saw that last season, how Louis would literally be telling Melissa and Joe, like, I don't like how you and your sister are not getting along, and I want this to work. But then when he's not around Joe and Melissa, he's bashing them to Teresa. But then when he gets back around Joe and Melissa, it's all love, and I love y'all, and I want our family to all come together and kumbaya. But then when he's back around Teresa again, without them, he's bashing them again. Like, I don't like Louis. I like Teresa, but I don't like Louis for her, and I'm sorry. They also talk about how Frank, Dolores' ex-husband, told Louis that last year's reunion, they all made a plot to go against Teresa and Louis, which, why did Frank say that? And whether it was true or not, Teresa and Louis are so problematic that we don't have to plan a plot, because the reunion is the time where you have to recap the season and talk about all the BS that's been said and done. And so there is no plot, there is no plan. This is the reunion. We have to talk about it. And so, most of the BS was with Louis and Teresa. So, I'm not understanding that. Let me see. That was very shady of Frank. The next scene, we are at Jen Fessler's party. the party looks amazing. The decorations are amazing. The drinks look good. The food looks good. They have this little lady who has like a table attached to her, and she can walk around with the table, and it has like a bunch of snacks and candy and stuff all over it. It was really cool. And you see Teresa and Jennifer Aiden, they're in the car driving to the party together. And then everybody starts arriving to the party. And then it was really nice to see Danielle and Rachel getting along, because, you know, last season they were enemies. And at the reunion, they decided on, you know, squashing the beef and moving forward. And I'm glad that they are still in that good space. Snoop! I'm sorry, my sister's dog is here if y'all hear that barking, and he's just doing too much. He's about to get in just a few minutes if he keep playing with me. And then Teresa and Jennifer Aiden, they finally arrive to the party. Louis not there. They talk about how Louis not able to make it because he has to work. He has a work assignment in Florida. And, you know, that's where, you know, that is the party where John Fuda wanted to talk with Louis. And I'm glad Louis actually couldn't make it, because there's no telling how that situation could have gone if Louis would have came. So next, you know, the party's going, everybody's having a good time, and Jen Fessler, she finally gets there. Everybody, surprise, surprise, and welcomes her to her party. Let's see. Oh, okay. And so Teresa and Melissa, they're saying hey to everyone. Teresa even says hey to Margaret, and Margaret gives her this quiet little hey and just walks off, because Margaret is not dealing with Teresa. You know, after last year when the private investigator and, you know, did all that mess by investigating everybody and their children, and how Louis allegedly tried contacting Margaret's daughter, I believe she said, at her job. So Margaret is done. The door's closed again. So let me see. You also see Danielle avoiding Jackie. She wants no part, even though they also... All right, sorry about that. So, again, Daniela is avoiding Jackie, even though last year at the reunion, they also decided to, you know, try to move forward as well, but Danielle is not having it. So, next scene, we jump to the men talking, and how John is talking to Paul and the other guys, and John is talking about how Louis is not there and how they were supposed to have talked at Jen's party. And Paul tells John in front of all the other guys that he did sit down with Louis. He did explain to Louis that he's neutral and that he's friends with both of them, but he did think that Jen's party was not the place to do it. And I agree with Paul on that. He did agree that Jen's party was not the place to have that, because who knows how that conversation is going to go. That ended up turning into like a big argument between John and Paul. And so Dolores, she came and pulled him away from the rest of the group. She's like, this conversation's done. We're not talking about this here. And she got him up out of there. All right. And so last we go to the scene where after the men, Teresa and Jennifer walk over to Rachel, and they're talking about, you know, Louis and John's issue, and that turns into a huge argument as well. What I did not agree with was Melissa saying that John was a big time drug dealer and how he uses dildos. I mean, and you know, Teresa, she just yells. She has a big mouth. She's just yelling it all loud at the party. And then on top of that, she's getting ready to leave, and she goes over to the little lady with all the candy, and she just putting all the candy in her in her bag. I'm like, first of all, you're talking shit, and you're ruining the party for Jen. So you don't get to get to-go candy to go. Just go ahead and go. And so that's how the scene ends. Actually, no, John, he came over and he was like, you're a has-been. He's talking to Teresa because, and rightfully so, because you're not about to talk shit about me and I can't say nothing back. So he was calling Teresa a has-been, and that's how they ended the episode. Overall, this was a really good first episode. I will be doing reviews of the entire season. And if you guys want to see more reviews, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, like this video, and please be sure to share this video. But until the next one, it is your boy Raheem the Dream, and thank you so much for watching another episode of Hood Dreams TV. Thank you, and have a good day.
Anymore. So take it.